You do have to have a balance. Like, it needs to be majority of your time is building your company. If creating content brings you joy and it's part of the brand strategy and this is going to create the outcome, then it's a part of the business strategy. But we need to ensure that the core business is fundamentally still scaling. I can be in my feminine in so many ways. The fastest way to actually get business done is just to make it about business and to actually move the emotion aside of it. So I remove this. I don't have this huge emotional capacity going into every contract or going into every negotiation or going into like making a decision on a new hire. Like, everything isn't that big of a deal. So I can solve problems quicker. I can look at it and say, what's my CEO hat? What's this next decision that I need to make? And it feels like the business keeps moving and progressing. If we want the business to succeed, then we don't need to put all of that pressure from that creator standpoint. It's not feminine, it's not masculine, it's just business. I need to get something off my chest today because I'm feeling so irritated right now. Every single time I open up my phone, I'm scrolling my feed, and honestly, everything looks exactly the same everywhere. I'm feeling so inundated by social media. I feel like I'm getting the exact same messages from everyone. And honestly, I'm just getting over it because even the content that I'm consuming is from the same styles of people. It's the same styles of reels. It's the same style of like messaging. And if you're feeling that exact way when you open up your phone, then you are about to feel extremely seen today because we're going to talk about it. Welcome to the CEO School podcast. I'm Sarah Madani, your host, and there is no extra fluff here, no affirmations, no meditations, no nothing else, just business. Let's go. Let's talk about what is killing us on social media right now. So first, I'm one over the soft feminine manifesting era, soft girl Insta post that I'm seeing everywhere. Now, I think that it was absolutely necessary because we went so hard in hustle culture. We went so hard in, just that super masculine. And then we had our girl boss era, and then we girl boss too hard. And it was still similar to the masculine and whatever, masculine, feminine, whatever it's called. Right now, we're in our soft girl era because we had to anti-hustle, anti whatever else was showing up. But our soft girl era is like driving me absolutely crazy because soft girl era will not build your business. And so this is a business podcast. I'm going to talk about what I feel are just massive disservices to us as women founders and what we're following, because our soft girl era, which we can be in our soft girl at home and with our kids and want to feel, taken care of. And like I love all of those things in my life when it comes to my personal life. But when it comes to business, being a soft girl in business is not going to get you far, period. And so in business, it's not the manifesting era. It's not the relax and like let it come and surrender era. Like, we still have to put in the work and we have to be strategic. So it's not about also just hard work. We have to adapt to the markets. We have to ensure that we're focusing and putting time into our businesses to build meaningful businesses. We do have to hire people or utilize AI and build out our companies through process and agents and whatnot, but it is still just business and it can't just be soft in business. And so that is something I wanted to write down today, that like vision boards will not close deals, systems close deals. And so if your feed right now is filled with a ton of soft girl era energy, girl, they are just trying to get into your psyche to say, yes, I'm working hard and like, wouldn't that be nice? But that is not what is going to actually like set up and scale your business or to have a business outcome. So one, it's important for us to recognize those things on our feed. And this never used to be that important. Like, it's just social media is like how I used to feel about it when I was started this podcast 2020 with inspiration and, whatever else this time has been. But now, reminder, like the amount of time that we actually spend consuming content is a real amount. So like we have to actually take a look at that. The amount of time that we consume content is, 10x probably than what I used to consume. The amount of content that is being thrown at us right now is 10x what it used to be. So we're consuming content, we're seeing so much content. And then reminder, at the end of the day, our brains actually they don't just like, they're subliminal messages. Like, we end up taking these messages and we are digesting these messages. So it's actually so important for us to audit this stuff. And in today's episode, I'm going to share like these 5 things that I'm really over. And then we're going to do a feed audit at the end of the episode. So I'm going to leave you with action always. And this is what I'm doing in real time right now, is these are the things that I'm noticing. This is the ick that it's making me feel. And I think it's doing all of us a disservice as women building companies that are also on social media. That's not going to not go away, but we have to be careful for. So one, soft girl era is great for our personal lives. Reminder, in our business, it's just business. And that was going to be my number 2, is that business is just a framework. Like, let's just leave it at that. And even, I think I shared this 2 episodes ago when I was talking about the Savannah retreat, and I was sharing, like, I think I'm coming up with like an entirely new like, it's shifted for me. First, I was like, I need to, I'm allowed to do business in my feminine. And I was leaning in so much to find my voice and find my ways to do business in my feminine era, at the end of, stacks, and finding my voice and feeling like I was a man in a skirt. Like, you've heard all of the things that I've been saying for years on being now in my feminine leadership. And I do want to say that I'm shifting. I literally am shifting, because what I'm finding is that I can be in my feminine in so many ways. The fastest way to actually get business done is just to make it about business and to actually move the emotion aside of it. And the reason why I've come to this conclusion is because I'm building again. So the first time that I was building, I had so much to prove. It was super personal. I had a chip on my shoulder. And then CEO School, the business, is like a business. It is 100% a business. It's a 7-figure business here. We have a media company. We have, programming. We are an educational company. And so it's a 7-figure company that I've had also for the last 6 years. And then I started to, post my exit, another fintech. And if you look at the success that I have in my fintech company, like even on number 2, it's like been less than 24 months really to market. And we've already surpassed 8 figures in revenue. I already secured 30 million in like Series A funding. We already have 60 employees. Like, I had to do an audit to say, why does it happen so fast for me in a company that should actually be a lot harder to build than, a media company like CEO School? And it's because I treat CEO School in my super feminine. I treat it with my passion and my founder mode, and not into actually CEO mode is how I treat worth. And not that I don't care about the product or my people, or that I don't have those leadership abilities here, but it's pretty simple in a sense of business. It's just business. So I remove this. I don't have this huge emotional capacity going into every contract or going into every negotiation or going into like making a decision on a new hire. Like, everything isn't that big of a deal. And zooming out and, finally getting some space to like zoom out and like see it now, I'm like, man, business should just be business. It's neither masculine nor is it feminine. It's just business. And if I can just step into that CEO mode and just deal with it as business, look at those outcomes, so that I can be in my soft era, so that I can be, if I want to turn off my laptop at 3 and pick up the kids, I can go live a life to do that and be in whatever era that I want to be in because of that. But in business, I can treat it just as business. And it's been like a really heavy topic. We had this entire discussion at my last retreat. And y'all, let me tell you, there was like a lot of opposing opinions here. And you might have some as well. And I asked you on that episode and like what your thoughts were around this. And I'm not saying that we're not going to be feminine in the way we lead. Like, we just are women. Like, let's lean into what that is. But I do think that my masculine tendencies are the way that I'm able to be direct in business, however we're like labeling this. If we remove the labels, it's just saying I'm direct. It's black and white. It's not that complicated. And I don't put that much emotion weight to it, so I can solve problems quicker. I can look at it and say, what's my CEO hat? What's this next decision that I need to make? And it feels like the business keeps moving and progressing. And I do see that difference even in myself and how I lead CEO School. And so I wanted to share that I'm actually definitely over I'm just over like the soft manifesting era woo. Look, there's a space for that. There's a spirituality component that I really do believe in for life. And I just don't think all of it is fully there for business. Like, let's just lean into our business energy, whatever that looks like, which is number 2, is that it's not feminine, it's not masculine, it's just business. Can we just get back to doing business? And that is what I want for all of you on this show. Like, my goal is for each of you to live an amazing life, because of what you've been able to accomplish in business. And if we can do that in business and treat our businesses as such to create dollars, right? We can use those dollars towards impact. We can use those dollars to have a life of freedom. And our businesses don't have to run us, right? There is also, like, when I was telling you when I'm over on, just going to a lot of the, female conferences and just the dialogue on supporting women founders on burnout and, just how we're curing our symptoms of running a business because we're so emotionally vested into it. And now business, yes, it is emotional. It's a thing that I've birthed. Like, that's why we're so emotional about it, is because we've literally birthed our children. That's why they're the most important thing to us. They came out of us. We created them and we created our businesses. So naturally, we are putting that level of energy in it because we've literally created it. It came from us. And if we want the business to succeed, then we don't need to put all of that pressure from a mother standpoint onto the business or that creator standpoint. We just need to let the business, there's playbooks in business, right? Take our playbooks. The Accelerator is a great place for you to go in. 12 weeks, founder, CEO, get the business playbooks. It's 6 places to audit your business, people, process, profit. Like, go audit it, see where you need to scale. And just when you do that, watch, like, it literally unlocks for every one of these women because it's just business. And so I really do think that we are doing women a disservice by just the propaganda online of not actually talking about what is scaling our companies and our business. And I think there's very few creators doing that. So look out on your feed because I am over it. Now, over it, number 3, I'm just personally over myself trying to keep up on social media because the amount of stuff that we see, I'm like, oh, I want to try that and I want to do that. And then I have to send it off to the team to edit. And it's so time consuming to create content, And I've had agencies that I've worked with. I have a social media team currently right now for CEO School. I have all the tools, all the things and people, humans that do this. And it still takes so much time. And recently I've just been like, why am I putting so much energy? By the time that the content actually gets out, we're like today I need to post up. I'm going to it literally just got edited, which is my behind the scenes recap. I was at a conference speaking called the $1 Million Brand. I was in New York City last week, and that reel or that come behind the scenes or whatever we put together for a day in the life of that is going to get posted today. And it's a week later. Now it's gone through 3 different hands. It's gone through 3 different captions. It's gone through 3 different things. And now it's going to get posted. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious versus me just posting it up in real time and just letting the unedited or sharing my thoughts from the conference. I actually took a video in the Uber ride to the Knicks game when I was there. And I was like, here's what I couple of my key takeaways. Boom, I got it done. It got posted. And that content is actually already out there living, growing, and it did really well versus I'm going to post this and it's already a week late. So I'm actually getting over my own self and our systems and processes that we've created around social, although important, although we've been talking about this for a while. How do we make social easier? We can batch content. We can do this. We can do that. And what if, just throwing it out there, what if we just took our power back and said, I'm actually going to get up and I'm going to share what's on my mind, and that's going to be the content, and it's just going to be my point of view. And I think this is something that I'm going to lean into right now. I committed actually to doing a 30-day, I'm posting back up on LinkedIn. So go follow me on LinkedIn. Please go say hi. I have almost 40,000 followers on LinkedIn. I have not been active on LinkedIn because I overthink LinkedIn. I just super overthink it more than I think on Instagram because I have, my investors and my employees, and it's just all my world's kind of I don't know, it's in my head, but I'm oh my God, every word I say, I want it to be perfect on LinkedIn. So what does that cause? Me not showing up on LinkedIn for the last 2 years. I barely show up. I'll repost, I'll share things, but it's not in the same authentic way that I show up everywhere else. And so I decided I'm day 4 of my LinkedIn challenge right now. And every morning I'm just getting up and I'm what am I thinking about today? And I'm just writing it out and I'm sharing my point of view. And I think in a world right now of AI and everyone being a thought leader and just so much content, I think that having a raw point of view is actually going to be the next new take on social. It's like going back to the original. So number 3 is I'm over edited content for myself. Now, can I appreciate an awesome like put together by like a beauty influencer? Like, do I like consuming content is entertaining? That's awesome. So I'm going to continue to like styles of content, but that's honestly for pure entertainment purposes, not actually for business growth or thought leadership, in my opinion. So I'm over it. And I think it's authenticity is what's going to actually be what's going to come through. And the most powerful thing that you can do is just sometimes show up and like be you and have your point of view. And I think there is a really awesome space to have that. So don't be like everyone else, which goes into number 4, social media sameness. I'm so fucking over it. I am so over this. Every time I look on my feed, and I'm falling victim to it too, because I like save a post. I'm like, oh, I should do that one. That one's so cute. Or that's such a great idea. And then literally our feeds look exactly the same with the same styles of content nonstop. And so I think that in a world where like even AI again is making things so much easier for us, this sameness on social media in 2026 is super crazy. We're not being original at all. And I think that that's not going to work. Like, I think that, yeah, it might be great to go viral and like people will like things, but it's not actually building authentic connection and community. And we all know that that's where like the next level of brand marketing is going. That's where if you actually do want to have, grow an audience that is connected, is going to be connected to you and your point of view and what makes you unique, not just you posting the same stuff that everyone else is posting. And then also we've been taught, right? Because it's like you see a trend and it does work. I've done it. You see a trend and you apply it to your niche or you apply it to your audience and you make it for your audience. But again, I'm just getting over it. I don't know if this is going to I just feel in the most like, let's be authentic, let's give it a shot. So maybe I'll report back and say that. But I'm positive that you are feeling the same things that I'm feeling and seeing the same things that I am seeing. So I just want to encourage you to be original and let's find each of our originality. Of course, there's going to be fun trends to hop on, things feel authentic to you to do it, but have an authentic take on social. Also with AI, oh my goodness, we can like everyone can share so much. And so I think that the more like you can tell when not even just in terms of like, here's beautiful videos that we can take and crop and like, here's perfect viral hooks every time. And it's like, I do think that the unedited real human stuff is going to win in like really soon because of how much AI is catching on to social and how much we can replicate and create so much more content with. So I think less is more. And I think originality is going to win. So take a look and like, I don't want to call you out. I'm going to call myself out. Like, let's look at copycat stuff and like, let's move on from it. And then the 5th thing that I'm over, and I actually talked about it at the $1 Million Brand Conference, is I'm over the personal brand pressure. And I think that as women founders, we are currently right now, like male founders don't have that same amount of pressure to go build personal brands, to go be the face of the brand. So if you actually look at female-led companies versus male-led companies, female-led companies have more pressure to do that. We're actually also putting that pressure on ourselves to show up, and it's a way for us to get visibility and to, garner our own credibility because we're not receiving it elsewhere. So we're going to figure it out ourselves. So we're putting the pressure on ourselves to go build our brands off of our faces, off of our names, off of our own social media. And I don't think that that is going to be sustainable in the long haul for us. And it's not going to build us the enterprise exit models that we want in business. Because if you are 100% tied to your brand, if you're 100% tied as the face of the company, if you're 100% tied with your name to the company, then it's hard for you to actually exit your business, sell your business, have somebody else, like for you to get the freedom off of your business. And so I want you to be intentional about building a personal brand and if it's actually necessary for your brand or not. And I will say that there's a really cool trend, not trend, it's just been happening in consumer products where we're doing user-generated content. And there's like so many other ways to generate content. And I do think that every brand should have a brand, right? So when I go on to a brand's page, whether it's a consumer brand, whether it's a tech brand, like anything that I'm buying, I'm going to go check them out online. So your brand matters, what your brand says about, who you are, what you stand for, can live on a brand page. And the styles of content that are there, it can be some founder-led content, it can be employee-led content, it can be user-generated content. So I think there's so many ways to actually create the right brand message to be on social media that it does not have to 100% be tied back only for founder-led social. So I do think that it's worth the assessment. And I do think that there is a clear distinction as an investor when I look at male-founded companies versus female-founded companies. It's not the same. The pressure is not the same. And then when I go to every single conference and we are literally sharing we're doing women a disservice by saying visibility matters, visibility matters, visibility matters. You need PR, you need social media, you need, you need likes, you need, publicity, and you need to be in Forbes, and you need all of these things. When in actuality, visibility without conversion, that's entertainment, right? And entertainment is not what's going to pay your team. It's not what's going to build your business. You need to go build a business. That's what's most important. So if you don't have the dollars to go invest in there, yes, carve out time, build out your, your pitches, and, have your team send in your pitches, and you can create, you can be on different podcasts and garner visibility in other ways. But if that's where you're investing your time and dollars versus building the business, and that is what I'm seeing, especially in female-founded companies, that the ratio at which we are spending it compared to male-founded companies, and the time that it takes to do it, because the time that it also takes to do all of this time on social media, on podcasts, on these things, is time that takes away from actually building our companies, right? And so you do have to have a balance, and not just a balance, it needs to be majority of your time is building your company. And if creating content brings you joy and it's part of the brand strategy and this is going to create the outcome, then it's a part of the business strategy. But we need to ensure that the core business is fundamentally still scaling. And I really do find women are forgetting that because we're just living in this comparison culture. And then it's only exasperated by other female-founded brands that have all this visibility and that are doing this thing. So we're just in this cycle. And so I want to call those things out because I see them. So as soon as I'm scrolling through, I see it all day long. And I think for our community here at CEO School, my goal for you is to build a really successful company and business. And I want you to evaluate why are we doing this? Does it actually tie back to your ROI? And if it does, then let's do it authentically. Let's do it in a way that we don't need to over edit. Let's go have our point of view. We don't need to be the same. And I think that those things are the things that can help us really stand out and build meaningful personal brands as well as meaningful business brands. So if any of these I'm over it resonated with you, please tag this. Let me know on social. We're going to meet back on social, just what you're over. And also let's take action from this. So let's do a feed audit is what I was going to say as a community. I promise to do that as well so that I can clear my feed and ensure that I'm following different kinds of brands. I'm following different kinds of voices. I'm getting news back on my feed. I'm actually going to see I never even see my friends' kids anymore on Instagram. I used to have I have my friends and family as my part of my own social feed, but I barely ever see their posts because my feed is just giving me more stuff in my segment. And so let's actually do a social media detox across it. So I want you to take away from this episode, just take an hour today, review your feed and see if you're seeing the same things. And if you are, let's actually unfollow. Let's actually try to resonate so we can be inspired again by Instagram to grow our business, not just in this content hamster wheel that we're feeling like we're just behind. Because I promise you, it's not what's actually going to move the needle in your enterprise value of the company. What's going to move the needle is for us to go back and invest in people, in our process, in our profit, in our KPIs, and running the business as a CEO. And let's consume for fun and ensure that that's what our feed also looks like. And as a CEO and as a brand builder, go do that audit as well to say, am I showing up in the right way? Am I overthinking this? Where should I be showing up? Where is my actual audience? And what is the point of view that I want to have? And I guarantee you that is going to be the shift in this next age of AI. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how you're liking my content lately, because that's what I'm trying to shift towards as well. Go follow me on LinkedIn right now. Let me know your thoughts there. I'm sharing day to day what's happening in my business is back again. And I'm writing it. And so I'm using AI for leverage and just copy, edit, clean up, but I'm not using AI to write any of my content right now. And I think it's gonna work really, I think it's gonna land. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode and just overall on what you're over on social media. I'll see you next week on the CEO School podcast. Please, please, please do me a favor and please leave a review. We are back. This is year 6, y'all. I have been asking you and you're not delivering for me. So I'm actually kind of mad at you because you don't actually, after you listen to the episode, you don't take 2 minutes and leave a review. I need those reviews. I don't have to bribe you for those reviews. I just want you to authentically leave one and tell us what you enjoy, what types of episodes, what kind of guests you want to see, and like what you think about the show, and share it with a friend. We are 6 years running and I would love to surpass 1,000 reviews. So that is my goal for this season coming up. I spend every other Thursday recording real content for you every single Thursday of my life. Every single week, you have a fresh episode. And so give your girl some love. Give this podcast a love. Give it a subscribe. Write that review and share it with a friend so that they can subscribe. It would mean the world to me so that we can have more authentic voices at the top in leadership, shaping the way business should be run. And so I really appreciate you. And that would mean a lot to me. I will see you next week on the CEO School podcast episode for another incredible rant of some sort or another interview that we're going to have where you can learn with action on how to successfully grow and scale your business and life.